Hello, everyone. My name is Aaron, and welcome to my presentation for operating systems. This research paper is on ACL injury and reconstruction. The ACL stands for the anterior cruciate ligament, and we all have two of them located in both of our knees. This topic stuck out to me because in my sport of jiu-jitsu, many of the people there speak about their constant knee pains, and a few of them have actually completely torn their ACLs. Looking into a way to prevent this from happening to me and others seemed really important. So a little background on this. An ACL injury can occur when someone changes direction rapidly while running, stopping suddenly, or landing incorrectly from a jump. Also, ACL injuries are more common in females than in males. An interesting fact that I found was that female NCAA athletes are 2 to 8 times more likely to sustain an ACL injury than male NCAA athletes. And for anyone out there who doesn't know what the NCAA is, it's the National Collegiate Athletic Association, and they cover many different sports for college athletes. So my research started by looking at other articles on this topic, and I was surprised by the amount of information that I was able to find. Studies using machine learning, 3D flex imaging, and neural networks are some of the examples of work that stood out. And it was very interesting to read some of them. For many of these studies, having access to some type of force sensor seemed imperative. I did learn that to actually tear the ligament, around 2,100 newtons of force are needed. And while it is very important to take in data of force applied to the knees, the foot and the calf are also important places to take measurements. So after an injury occurs, most people think they can just heal themselves by themselves, but this is not the case. If proper physical therapy is done, ACL injuries can take 6 to 9 months to recover from. And this will almost always require surgery, which averages around $1,600. And this can be very expensive. So to all my fellow grad students, please be careful. We don't want to incur more debt. Interviewing my coach was one of the better parts of my research. He sat down with me and told me about his experience in tearing his ACL. He recalled pulling on his leg and his knee, not stopping it from moving. So his knee just went on and on when moving it. It was kind of scary. The ACL is responsible for connecting the patella to the tibia. And if we examine this image here, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. All right. So if we examine this image here, we can see all the different parts. So the surgery typically requires a hole to be drilled into the patella so that the new ligament could be inserted. And this right here is the ACL. This is our patella and our tibia right here. So of course, off the surface, this doesn't really seem like an operating systems paper, but finding a way seemed pretty challenging. And I can tell from a lot of my reviews that it was kind of split 50-50. Either people love the topic or they just didn't see how this related. Well, to me, an operating system can extend to more than just a computer. Learning about how computers function can translate into our own bodies as well. This situation that results in an ACL tear reminds me of a deadlock situation, which is something that I learned in OS class. And a deadlock is something that occurs when a process or thread enters into a waiting state because a requested system resource is being held by another waiting process. Like this, our knees are requesting movement that our legs and feet cannot give them. And similar to a deadlock, the system fails. Some of the ways that I concluded that we can help prevent ACL injuries is to make sure that we are hydrated before performing physical activity. Also, exercises that strengthen the hamstring and core are ways that we could increase our stability and help reduce the likelihood of a tear. And in conclusion, if we do get hurt, we need to make sure that we listen to our doctors and follow proper physical therapy. So that will conclude my presentation, and thank you again for listening. Goodbye.